Right, let's get analysis now from political analyst Professor Dirk Kotze. Prof, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Now, were you expecting, for instance, that the mayor would resign? I mean, we know that the motion of no confidence against him was supposed to take place and that it was granted on secret ballot. Do you think this is what pushed him?
Yes, that certainly is the immediate reason for it, and the fact that it was supported by Action SA. But the background to this are two specific situations. The first one was last year, the revelation that he possibly didn't follow procedure with respect to the renovation of power stations in the Tshwane area. And that almost meant the end of his term as mayor. And then now more recently, very recently actually, was the report by the Auditor General, which revealed a very bad situation with respect to the finances of the council. So both of them contributed definitely towards weakening, and because especially the finances was his signature project since he became the mayor. And the fact that Action SA distanced themselves from it. So it's more about the internal matter in the coalition than that of the opposition. It's not really a motion from the ANC side that will, because there's very little chance that they will be successful. It's more from within the coalition, driven by Action SA to change him, but not the coalition itself.
And that's exactly where I was coming to, you know, the breakdown of the relationship between the DA and Action SA. It seems to be something that is actually going into other provinces as well. Could it be because of the two parties' history? I mean, leaders of Action SA, most of them coming from the Democratic Alliance. So maybe animosity there historically?
Yes, that is, of course, the history of it, and that plays definitely a role. But at the same time, there was a discussion between the two national leaders, John Steenhuisen and Norbert Mashaba, some time back to say, well, despite our history, we have to work together in order to make this coalition work. And I think this is an evidence of this. In the case of the Action SA is the key factor in the Tshwane coalition. In the other coalitions, Johannesburg as well as Ekurhuleni, the situation is very different because there the ANC has a majority of 20 in the case of Johannesburg and 21 seats in Ekurhuleni. In the case of Tshwane, it's only 6 seats. So the DA-led coalition can have a majority on its own without the Patriotic Alliance, without the EFF, and that makes it much more stable than the other two.
And I guess this is why then he was saying it's for the stability of that particular city, because maybe he was seeing during negotiations that if he doesn't step aside, especially with Action SA calling him arrogant in public, etc., that it might break down, and he had to actually fall on his sword so that he saves the DA.
That is indeed so, and I think what we are seeing, therefore, is that, and that's why I'm saying Action SA is the key party in this. If Action SA, or if he didn't decide to resign, most possibly Action SA would have supported the motion of no confidence against him, and that would have created turmoil within the coalition again, and could have created the opportunity even for the ANC and the EFF at the moment to come together. But for that, they need some of the members of the DA's coalition, like Action SA, to do it. On their own at the moment, the ANC and the EFF and the Patriotic Alliance and the other members of the DA grouping, of the ANC grouping, cannot constitute a majority on their own. They need a party like Action SA. And that is why I think what has changed. And another indication that Tshwane is different is the fact that last year already, early last year actually, they've changed it to elect the speaker from Cape. Which was becoming an issue in Johannesburg, that they were not willing to do that. So they have made early changes in the case of Tshwane, which, for example, didn't happen in Johannesburg. And I think this is what at the moment still, in a sense, keep the coalition in Tshwane in a stronger position than in the other two metros.
And I mean, looking at the fact that the ANC, for instance, you know, what you mentioned earlier, them having only 6 seats in the city of Tshwane, do you think that is that is obviously clear communication from the electorate in the city of Tshwane that they wanted to try someone else and not particularly the ANC? But do you think with what's happened with this particular coalition, this multi-coalition partnership, this could, you know, come to detriment of the Democratic Alliance and its hold over, or its hold kind of over the city of Tshwane?
Well, first of all, I must say the ANC doesn't have 6 seats. They have a majority of 6 seats. They have at the moment 75 seats in Tshwane. So it is just 6 seats more than the DA.
Yeah,
but in
that's
terms
very little
of,
compared
I think the
to
dynamic,
what they used to have, right, Prof?
Yes, that is what made it possible for the DA to form this coalition, because there's almost no difference between the ANC and the DA in this respect, compared to the other two, where I was saying that the difference is 20 seats, which is so significant that, strictly speaking, the DA, in realistic terms, can actually not form coalitions in both Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni. The gap is simply too big between the ANC and the DA, and that is what makes the situation in Tshwane significantly different from these other two.
All right, Prof. Well, thank you very much for your insights and your expertise, Professor Dirk Kotze of UNISA.